Apu Hami lay on his bed, too sick and tired to move. Fonseca, the policeman, came to see him with the village headman, and they listened to his story. And after that, what happened? Fonseca asked. Then they started throwing stones at me. One of them hit me on the head, here. The blood ran into my eyes, and while I was still dazed, they hit me with sticks and knocked me senseless. And then you remember nothing? Are there any witnesses, Rolahami? No, I've asked everywhere. No one has seen or heard anything. Could you identify these men, Apu Hami? It was too dark to be certain, but I think I know. The policeman took all this down and promised to do what he could. Now, rest well, Apu Hami. We'll do our best for you, but we haven't got much to go on. You see a difficulty, don't you, Rolahami? We haven't got any witnesses, and there isn't really enough evidence on which to make an arrest. Menika brought her husband bowls of kanji to build up his strength. Drink it, Apu Hami, she coaxed him. You must get well again to fight your enemies. Apu Hami felt that the whole world was against him, and he didn't know where to turn for help. And then he remembered what Mr. Jayavira had said. I promise I will do everything I can to protect the rights of the peasant and the cultivator. If you think I'm not looking after your interests properly, then write to me about it. Mr. Jayavira was in the chamber of the house when Apu Hami's letter was brought to him. The peasant cultivator's bill was being read for the third time and would soon become law. And here was a letter from one of his own constituents relating to the very issues at point. Most respected and honored sir, it is with great sorrow in my heart that I write this letter. I am in very grievous trouble, and I beg you come at once. My name is Simin Apu Hami, and I'm a villager of Nelungama. The Mudalali persecutes me because I will not do as he wishes. My fields have been taken away from me, my cattle stolen, my garden crops destroyed. And then I remembered what you said when you came here to speak to us. I know, most honored sir, that you will not fail me. Apu Hami, now convalescent, was mending the handle of his mammoty. Menika and the children were busy shelling arecanuts when they saw a car draw up in the roadway outside their house, and out stepped Mr. Jayavira. With him were the village headman, Fonseca the policeman, and another man, a stranger who carried a camera. They came down the path and into the courtyard, and after the usual greetings had been exchanged, Mr. Jayavira asked Apu Hami to tell him about his troubles. Come with me, sir, and I will show you everything, replied Apu Hami. But it is not only the damage I have suffered that worries me. I am afraid for the safety of my wife and children. Apu Hami took them through into the garden and showed them where his cows had been tethered and how the ropes had been cut by the thieves. And he showed them how his fences had been broken down. Yes, I see, said Mr. Jayavira. Now we must think what can be done to stop this persecution. While they were talking in the garden, a group of villagers had collected in the roadway to watch, as was only to be expected. They are Member of Parliament with the Rolahami and the policeman. Whatever could this mean? Something important must surely be afoot. The Mudalali saw them too, and he did not at all like what he saw. Now, as regards your fields, Apu Hami, you need have no fear. We have just passed a bill to protect people like you. But as regards your cattle, what are the police doing to catch the thieves? We are doing what we can, sir, but we can't be everywhere at once. Then you should call for volunteer patrols through your Rural Development Society. But honoured sir, we have no such thing in Nelungama. Then you should form one. It would help you to settle many problems locally. If you will organize it among yourselves, I will gladly come down and launch the society for you. The press photographer at that moment took their picture. And there it was next day in the morning papers, under a headline which read, "Villager victimized. MP inquires into the case." The Mudalali saw this, and he knew at last that his game was up. The villagers of Nelungama saw it too, and came hurrying round to Apuhami's house. "Hey, Apuhami," they cried. "Have you seen this? Your picture in the papers. And look what it says. MP to inquire into your case. You're all right now, Apuhami. You're famous." The good news with them. "That's all very well," said Menika. "But what's the use of being famous if your stomach is empty?" And here was the Mudalale coming to join them. He looked worried, and there seemed to be something on his mind as he pushed his way through the crowd and tapped Apuhami on the shoulder. The villagers watched amused as the Mudalale led Apuhami aside and engaged him in private conversation. "Now listen well, Apuhami," began.